The city of Neosho is getting nearly $2 million to help with flooding concerns. I'm Blake Gully. Will have that story coming up.
Plus, 2 new degree plans at Pittsburgh State University give students a major option.
TikTok of a different kind. The countdown clock is now running before a potential government shutdown next week. I'm Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. More on that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Neosho receives a nearly $2 million grant from the state of Missouri to improve flood-prone areas. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The city is one of 15 Missouri communities receiving grants totaling more than $16 million from the state's Community Development Block Grant Program. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us how this funding will impact the Neosho community.
Over the years, Neosho has been hit by storms that left several parts of the city underwater. Thanks to the Community Development Block Grant Program, the city plans to build new retention ponds to slow down stormwater and help reduce flooding.
These ponds will help reduce the flooding along one of our main business areas, the Neosho Boulevard, along with some other projects that we're working on the other end of that floodplain.
Businesses in this area have seen firsthand how the water behind me can overflow and cause issues. And city officials believe the new retention ponds will help ease the impact in the future.
When we do these, what would normally be maybe let's just say a 50-foot channel, if we can get that channel to only fill 25 of those 50 feet, well, everything in those 25 feet on either that are now outside the floodplain no longer has to have flood insurance.
The improvements are welcome news for Neosho Christian School, which has also dealt with the flood waters.
It's come all the way up to this gravel area before, and we have a hard time with our ditch that's back here flooding, and then the debris will back up. We have to call the city to come out and clean it up, and so it'll just help our area look a lot better.
The new retention ponds aim to improve both the safety and the look of Neosho. Reporting from Neosho, Missouri, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
The city of Neosho is currently in the early stages of planning and hopes to have the project complete by July of 2026. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, we got more thunderstorms in the forecast. The rest of tonight overall is going to be fairly calm, which is good news, but thunderstorms back in. This is going to be late tonight, and then periods of showers and thunderstorms through the day on Tuesday. We even have kind of a sneaky low severe threat. Heavy amounts of rain, transition to showers on Wednesday, but temperatures pretty nice into the 70s all week long today, officially the first day of fall. All right, so we got a few clouds out there, southeastern Kansas, but we're waiting for this upper level wave out across western Kansas through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. That's going to head toward us. Showers and thunderstorms erupt as we go through the morning hours. Here's 7:30 in the morning, a big batch pushes through, and then more thunderstorms form late in the day. So we're going to break this down for you here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, authorities in Galena, Kansas offer an update to a landfill story we brought you about a year ago. Last year, several people in Galena complained about a bad smell coming from a landfill in the area. The KDHE and the EPA investigated the source of the smell and ways to reduce it. Authorities say as a result of the investigation, lime was added to the landfill to mitigate the smell, and that addition has proved successful. The plan now is to monitor any reduction in detectable odor and to resume layering the area with lime treatment when the odor becomes noticeable. Authorities also say even when the odor is noticeable, they have yet to detect any harmful levels. Pittsburgh State University launches 2 new degree programs focused on supply chains. Getting raw material from one point to another is a specialized set of knowledge. KOAM's Ty Park shows us how these programs will prepare students for high-demand careers in global logistics.
State University is unveiling 2 new degree programs centered on supply chains and industrial demands.
Supply chain, it's always been a critical part of of how we move goods and services across this country and across the world. And it's been part of our education in the Kels College of Business. Now we've just organized it and have added a few things. but getting a product from its inception, from the raw materials to us as final consumers, is a critical element, and it's complex and it's interesting and it's fun. It's a big part of what moves this country.
The supply chain side will focus on the management side with an understanding of the geopolitics that affect the supply chain. It is that global viewpoint that sets this degree apart from other business degrees.
It's specialization. Students become they become aware of the issues and the problems, so they're ready to hit the ground running and take a further leap, get where they want to go faster by specializing in an area such as supply chain or marketing or any other program.
Both degree paths are looking for the same type of student.
So we're looking for students who are problem solvers. We're looking for students who are critical thinkers. Really, we're looking for students who, when everyone else is just seeing a bunch of dots, they see lines between those dots. That's really what they're looking at. They're looking at making connections. They're looking at solving problems.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now, the technology side focuses on modes of transportation and automation from AI to robotics. Enrollment is open for both degree plans now. Well, coming up, the president weighs in on the alarming public health developments over childhood autism.
Federal health officials making a new recommendation in their efforts to fight childhood autism. I'm CB Cotton here in New York, and I'll have those details coming up.
And later, vaccinations for childhood diseases are going down in some states. Federal health officials issue new guidance today discouraging expecting mothers from using a popular pain medication. The claim, it could potentially be linked to autism in young children. But as Fox News' CB Cotton shows us, health experts say the connection has been studied and is still unproven.
The White House taking on a new goal in its pledge to make America healthy again, tackling rising autism rates in children.
The meteoric rise in autism is among the most alarming public health developments in history. There's never been anything like this.
In the early 1990s, just 1 in 10,000 children were diagnosed with autism. Now, it's 1 in 31, according to the CDC. But doctors say that's largely because the definition has expanded to include a wider range of symptoms. Now, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is announcing new guidelines for pregnant mothers, discouraging use of the pain medication acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol.
The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes, including later diagnosis for ADHD and autism.
Instead, Kennedy is floating the drug leucovorin as a potential treatment for autism. It's shown promising results in early clinical trials, but doctors say there's still a lot of work left to be done.
It seems to have been shown some effectiveness at reversing even and decreasing autistic symptoms of autism, including language display, but not across the board, in small studies in certain groups.
Longtime autism researchers are skeptical of laying blame for the condition on one drug or any single root cause. All major medical societies say Tylenol is safe to take during pregnancy, but advise women to talk to their doctors first. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
Declining vaccination rates among kids in Texas could lead to more measles outbreaks. A study published in JAMA found in some Texas counties, MMR vaccination rates among kindergartners dropped 10% over the last 10 years. The study predicts measles outbreaks and hospitalizations will increase substantially. Doctors say this highlights the importance of raising measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination rates. A warning about children's exposure to common household items that contain plastic. An NYU Langone health report found toxic chemicals added to industrial and household goods may contribute to health issues that can stick with kids for life, including heart disease, obesity, infertility, and asthma. The study recommends replacing plastic containers with glass or stainless steel and avoiding microwaving or dishwashing plastic. Poverty and social disadvantages could affect fertility. Families in low-income homes were less likely to conceive than women with higher incomes and a higher educational level. And that's according to a study published in JAMA. However, the research also showed income did not seem to have an impact on miscarriage rates. Well, the Joplin Health Department looks to make the community a little bit healthier at 104 beats per minute. The department is offering CPR classes for the public through the month of December. And these 3 CPR classes will be held each month for people of all skill levels. In addition to hands-on CPR, the department will also offer training in the use of an automated defibrillator. For more information, including schedule and how to register, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Cherokee County holds a free car seat clinic today.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Monday for us today after scattered showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, where some areas picked up some very heavy amounts of rain. Other areas, not a drop. So it just depends on where you live in the 4-state area. But heavy rains back in the forecast starting in the morning hours. Officially at the airport in Joplin, 1.5 for the month of September, 32 for the year, almost 3 inches behind. So we could use a little bit of rain, but some areas, again, don't need any. But we do have a flash flood watch in effect until Tuesday morning for pockets of very heavy amounts of rain. Plus a severe threat, level 1 threat. This is mainly 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday evening. Level 1 out of 5 threat in the green, level 2 out of 5 threat once you get into our southern counties. Not much going on for us right now, pretty much clear skies, but we're watching and waiting for our upper level wave out to the west to rotate in, and it will do so as we go through the overnight hours tonight. There could be an isolated storm, most of you quiet. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning. Here we go, storms driving in, 6:30, western counties, Yates Center, Fredonia, Coffeyville, Bartlesville. Driving east, getting across that Kansas, Missouri state line into southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas by 8, 9, 10 a.m. This heavy batch pushes out. Let's go into the afternoon. If we can get some breaks and some sunshine, we're going to destabilize that atmosphere. If that occurs, thunderstorms get booming. So here's 5, 6, 7 p.m. And again, there's a little sneaky low tornado threat with some of these guys as we go into Tuesday evening. And then thunderstorms drive east, out of here by late evening. Here's about 10 or 11 o'clock, and then just showers as we go into Wednesday morning. Could still see a few thunderstorms, but mainly showery. As we go through Wednesday, the cloud showers will keep our temps down a bit over the next couple days. How much rain could we get? We just got to wait and see where those heavier bands line up. But what this is going to show you is a lot of us, 1/2 inch, maybe 2, maybe isolated 3 or 4 inch amounts in spots. So those thunderstorm chances really increase as we go through the morning hours. Day planner 71 to start, 75 by noon. Let's go with a high temp of 77 degrees. Here's our upper level wave kicking out. Now, once this passes by, we dry out. We get really nice conditions. Look at Thursday, mid 70s, nice and fall-like. A little bit warmer on Friday. We near 80 for afternoon highs. And then as we go into the weekend, we're going to be into low to mid 80s for highs. But overall, looking pretty good. All right, thunderstorms on and off Tuesday, 77. 75 for Wednesday. Then we dry out. Nice long stretch, about a week, with nice fall-like temperatures, 70s and 80s for highs.
Thank you, Doug. Well, the Cherokee County Health Department held a free car seat clinic today in their parking lot. The event kicked off at 10 a.m. and ran until 3. Families who qualified could get a new car seat if their current one was in bad shape, outdated, or too small.
Some children grow really fast and the parents don't expect it, so that would need a new, they would need a new car seat. Or if a child's moving from one size of car seat to another.
Well, children had to be present and the car seats were available first come, first serve. Well, coming up next, the inspiring the next generation of writers.
A program at Crowder College hopes to encourage the next generation of great writers. I'm Samantha Walker and I'll have that story coming up.
The deadline to register for a program inspiring the next great American writers is fast approaching. Crowder College's Young Authors Conference and book writing contest hopes to encourage young students to put pen to paper and unleash their creativity. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what the program has to offer.
We're hoping to inspire them.
Inspiration is the driving force behind Crowder College's Young Author Conference and Book Writing Contest, now entering its third year.
Students write better and are more excited about writing when they have an audience, when they know somebody is going to look at their writing, read their writing, be excited and celebrate their writing. So by hosting a competition and a conference, we're providing that audience.
Both the contest and conference are open to any student between 2nd and 4th grade, whether they're in public, private, or even homeschooled.
Really trying to include our entire region, any of the counties of Vernon, Jasper, Newton, McDonald, or Berry.
Crowder sends information and curriculum ideas to participating classrooms, asking them to have their students write and illustrate an original story.
We ask them to pick their top 3. Then our education students judge each one of the stories, and then we choose the top 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade writers.
In May, every student participating in the program is invited to the Young Authors Conference, where they can meet local authors, learn how to improve, and hopefully be inspired by the power of writing.
Hearing young kids ask our guest speakers how did they become published authors themselves, it just inspires us to keep going.
Because they know the skills of reading and writing can have a big impact.
More likely to successfully graduate high school, to graduate from college, and so we know that those foundational skills of reading and writing really can change the trajectory of a student's life.
Reporting in the O Show, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Crowder staff know a passion for writing knows no age limit. They also offer the Crowder Quill, an annual literary and art competition that serves high school students through adults. Coming up next, a global business leader shares his success secrets at Pitt State. Intercon Engineering marks 50 years in business, and CEO Larry Tangle shared the company's story at Pittsburgh State University this evening. What started by his father in a garage in Peoria, Illinois, has grown into a global operation with products in 110 countries and facilities in 12. Tangle talked about how the company got started, the culture, the philosophy of running businesses, and how to expand globally. Tangle hopes what he shares can help entrepreneurs start and maintain their own business.
What fundamentally is required for any business to start is you must enjoy what you're doing. And then you must have skill at what you're doing, and you must have support. You can't do it alone. So having fun, having skill, and having support are fundamentally required to start any enterprise.
The event was part of the university's Vision to Venture Entrepreneurship Speaker Series. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. With only 8 days left until a government shutdown, the blame game gets underway in Washington, D.C. And the 80th annual UN General Assembly meets while 2 wars still rage on.
Scott. You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. After the Senate rejected a House-passed government funding bill on Friday, where do lawmakers go from here to avoid a government shutdown? With Congress on recess, it looks like the road is leading to another last-minute showdown. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram has more from Capitol Hill.
The calendar shows just 8 days until a government shutdown, but the blame game is already well underway.
The bill is passed.
After a bill the House passed Friday funding the government until November 21st stalled in the Senate.
The bill is not passed.
We put a very simple, very clean, continuing resolution to open the government, keep it open until mid-November. Democrats sent us a counteroffer, and it looks like they're going to try to shut the government down.
The Democrats put up a counteroffer with money for Obamacare subsidies, energy and climate funding, and public broadcasting dollars. But Senate Republicans defeated that bill. Now top Democrats are pushing President Trump for a meeting.
We're ready to meet with him any time and place to negotiate and avoid the Trump shutdown. Right now, it's a Trump shutdown because he won't even talk to us.
I'd love to meet with him, but I don't think it's going to have any impact.
If the government shuts down, 2.3 million federal workers could be on unpaid leave or required to work without pay.
Every federal worker in every single government shutdown has received back pay. So essentially, it's kind of like a paid vacation of sorts because everyone always gets back pay. But it's not good for the long-term certainty of our nation. And again, it's just political games and theater that ultimately ends up hurting people in the short term and furthers the divide in the country.
This could go down to the wire. The House and Senate are scheduled to be out of session for Rosh Hashanah this week. That gives lawmakers just a couple of days to figure out a solution before the deadline next week. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Israel is showing no signs of pulling back on its new operation in Gaza City, and now Hamas is reportedly turning to President Trump for help. As Israel continues to pound the Gaza Strip with airstrikes, Hamas is turning directly to Washington to end the conflict. A senior administration official tells Fox News Hamas has drafted a letter to President Trump asking for a 60-day ceasefire in exchange for releasing half of the Israeli hostages it's holding. Over the weekend, Australia joined the UK and Canada in supporting the two-state solution. President Trump has spoken against the idea, arguing recognition rewards Hamas. With two wars still raging, President Trump is heading to New York for a series of high-stakes meetings with world leaders at the UN General Assembly. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has more.
We are facing a global crisis.
The Secretary General of the United Nations not mincing words about the state of diplomacy as world leaders gather for the 80th annual UN General Assembly. The session got underway Monday, and with two wars still raging, President Trump is now seen as both a potential deal maker and disruptor. Topping the agenda, Palestinian statehood, with the U.S. finding itself more diplomatically isolated. But experts say it's unlikely there will be any changes to the status quo this week.
In the short term, everyone will simply be calling for a ceasefire. I don't think, however, that the U.S. is going to listen.
Another conflict in focus, the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is preparing to meet with Trump on the sidelines this week, looking for more support as Russian airstrikes intensify. It's expected that some leaders will push President Trump to take a harder stance and beef up sanctions on Moscow following recent violations of NATO airspace by Russian fighter jets.
The United States and our allies will defend every inch of NATO territory. Russia must urgently stop such dangerous behavior.
Ultimately, UN officials say they want to reverse the growing trend of countries resolving conflicts with war instead of diplomacy, and the General Assembly could be the best place to start bridging those political divides.
I'm not optimistic nor pessimistic, I'm determined. Sometimes it looks there is no hope. We must build that hope.
President Trump delivers his speech at the General Assembly on Tuesday morning. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Well, the world's biggest beer bash kicked off over the weekend in Germany with plenty of Americans celebrating Oktoberfest. Tourism officials expect up to 100,000 U.S. visitors to make the trip this year, many of them dressed in dirndls and lederhosen, and nearly everyone with a supersized stein in their hand.
Oktoberfest means good friends, fun times, and lots of beer.
That festival fan you just heard from, Randy Kelly from Florida, and this isn't his first round. He's marking his 28th trip to Oktoberfest. The tradition dates all the way back to 1810 when it began as a royal wedding celebration. More than 2 centuries later, the party is still going strong. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, is your child struggling with what they see on social media? Southwest Missouri experts share the signs you need to look out for.
This fall, darts.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Monday for us today after scattered showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, where some areas picked up some very heavy amounts of rain. Other areas, not a drop. So it just depends on where you live in the 4-state area, but heavy rains back in the forecast starting in the morning hours. Officially at the airport in Joplin, 1.5 for the month of September, 32 for the year, almost 3 inches behind. So we could use a little bit of rain, but some areas, again, don't need any. But we do have a flash flood watch in effect until Tuesday morning for pockets of very heavy amounts of rain. Plus a severe threat, level 1 threat. This is mainly 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday evening. Level 1 out of 5 threat in the green, level 2 out of 5 threat once you get into our southern counties. Not much going on for us right now, pretty much clear skies, but we're watching and waiting for our upper level wave out to the west to rotate in, and it will do so as we go through the overnight hours tonight. There could be an isolated storm, most of you quiet. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning. Here we go, storms driving in, 6:30, western counties, Yates Center, Fredonia, Coffeyville, Bartlesville. Driving east, getting across that Kansas, Missouri state line into southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas by 8, 9, 10 a.m. This heavy batch pushes out. Let's go into the afternoon. If we can get some breaks and some sunshine, we're going to destabilize that atmosphere. If that occurs, thunderstorms get booming. So here's 5, 6, 7 p.m. And again, there's a little sneaky low tornado threat with some of these guys as we go into Tuesday evening. And then thunderstorms drive east, out of here by late evening. Here's about 10 or 11 o'clock, and then just showers as we go into Wednesday morning. Could still see a few thunderstorms, but mainly showery. As we go through Wednesday, the cloud showers will keep our temps down a bit over the next couple days. How much rain could we get? We just got to wait and see where those heavier bands line up. But what this is going to show you is a lot of us, half an inch, maybe 2, maybe isolated 3 or 4 inch amounts in spots. So those thunderstorm chances really increase as we go through the morning hours. Day planner 71 to start, 75 by noon. Let's go with a high temp of 77 degrees. Here's our upper level wave kicking out. Now, once this passes by, we dry out. We get really nice conditions. Look at Thursday, mid 70s, nice and fall-like. A little bit warmer on Friday. We near 80 for afternoon highs. And then as we go into the weekend, we're going to be into low to mid 80s for highs. But overall, looking pretty good. All right, thunderstorms on and off Tuesday, 77. 75 for Wednesday. Then we dry out. Nice long stretch, about a week, with nice fall-like temperatures, 70s and 80s for highs.
Well, NASA officially selects its next batch of astronaut candidates for this year's class. The 10 American men and women were introduced to the public today during a special ceremony at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. They were selected out of a pool of 8,000 applicants to train for 2 years for future space missions to the moon and eventually Mars. The crew currently living and working aboard the International Space Station shared a message with the new class.
You're joining NASA at an exciting time. We're in a new era of space exploration, going to the moon and on to Mars. We can't wait to see where your journey takes you.
The people sitting beside you right now will become more than colleagues. They'll become lifelong friends.
As part of their training, NASA says the astronaut candidates will conduct simulated spacewalks and fly high-performance jets, among other things. Well, still ahead, the vote is in for our Friday night Performance of the Week winner. Plus, we take a second look at Pitt State's big win over Fort Hays State. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next.
KOAM Plus.
Pitt State football is back to 500 after its 13-16 win over Fort Hays State Saturday. KOAM Sports Director Ryan Blank has the recap of the Gorillas' big win.
The Pitt State Gorillas have won back-to-back games after a thrilling comeback victory over Fort Hays State on Saturday. Let's relive some of the game's big moments and takeaways. With around 9 minutes left, the Gorillas trailed 16-10 until Jackson Berry loaded up the deep ball and connected with Grayson Holbert for a go-ahead 78-yard touchdown, taking advantage of what the Tigers' defense was giving them.
They'd been giving us some stuff all game, and we just hadn't been able to capitalize. And, the offensive line had great protection right there, and JB threw a perfect ball. Grayson ran a great route, and, we were able to take advantage of it at that time.
I'm not looking for the ball. I'm just doing my job and let the ball find me, and I know he's going to put it where it needs to be.
But it didn't stop with the Holbert touchdown. The Pitt State defense forced 2 of their 3 turnovers on the day in the final 8 minutes of play.
I'm super proud of our guys on defense. They made some adjustments at halftime. We challenged them a little bit at halftime, and anytime you can hold a team to 3 points in the second half, no matter what you're doing, that's a good half. Fuchs' interception was just phenomenal, the way he went up and got that thing, and then I believe we got a fumble recovery by James there at the end as well. So if you can take the ball away from the other team 3 times, that's going to be good for you too.
The offense took advantage of those takeaways, with Luke Nigaman finding the end zone not once, not twice, but 3 times on the day for the hat trick.
Anybody that plays offense going to score as many touchdowns as they can, so that was awesome. Offensive line played great. That was all them. Anybody can go back there and run that football like that. I'm just in a great position and very lucky to be a part of this.
He's a dog, man. He's an incredible human being. He's an incredible football player, and that deal's not just Luke. We got some really other good tight ends in there, and the offensive line blocks really well. It's a testament to that whole unit and just the pride they take in that.
One key takeaway for the Gorillas on Saturday was their improvements in the red zone on both sides of the ball, finding pay dirt 3 times and forcing a Fort Hays turnover.
Both sides of the ball, we really challenged our guys this week. Our offensive red zone had not been good through the first 3 weeks, and our defense in the red zone had not been good. So we kind of challenged our guys with that this week, and both sides of the ball really stepped up there. So super proud of that.
In all 4 games this season, Pitt State has trailed, but never backed down, highlighted by their fourth quarter comebacks the last 2 weeks.
Our whole thing has been is passion for the finish. So we had to be passionate about finishing plays, finishing tackles, finishing catches, finishing blocks. So that's a part of our resilience. This is one of the most resilient teams I've ever seen. I'm glad to be part of this. They just drive that mentality into us that we have to be resilient no matter what comes our way. We can face any adversity, but it doesn't matter as long as we have passion for that finish. We can come back and beat any team. It doesn't matter what happens.
The Gorillas hit the road to Emporia this week with a matchup against the Hornets. Reporting for KOAM Sports, I'm Ryan Blank.
Well, every Friday night during Press Box, we ask our viewers to vote on who they think dominated on the field. Today, the vote is in. Webb City running back Mason Williams earns the nod for his performance against Ozark. Williams finished the night with over 250 running yards and 4 touchdowns. And most importantly, he helped lead the Cardinals in their 52-35 win over Ozark. You can cast your vote every weekend on our website, koamnewsnow.com/pigskin. Well, that's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Kids can be exposed to a lot of things on social media, from videos to memes, and the images can be both positive and negative. Chris Bryant spoke with school counselors in Southwest Missouri on the signs to look for if kids are struggling with the things they've seen online.
Students are exposed to so many things. Both on social media and maybe just out in the world or at home or at school. You never know. But I think the biggest thing to look for are changes.
Signs kids are negatively affected by social media include emotional changes like withdrawal, excessive worrying, and irritability, and behavioral changes such as isolation from family and friends.
There's so much content out there, and it's hard to decipher what's real and what's not. And with AI, things become even more convoluted and hard to interpret.
Other indicators are a lowered self-esteem, self-deprecating comments, and anxiety, as well as neglecting responsibilities and showing a lack of enthusiasm for real-life activities.
So I think it's so important as an educator to know your students and build that rapport, or else you're not going to know that this is different than their norm.
Teachers and counselors see children during the school day and may be some of the first to notice a change.
If a teacher or staff member is reaching out to a parent, they are really just trying to be a teammate. And so just trying to problem solve for resources and get the child the help that they may or may not need.
If your child is asking questions, experts say be curious, not judgmental.
I think it's great. It's great to, show, listen with unconditional positive regard. And I think that's really what it is. You're letting them lead and you're listening and providing a safe space for a student to really communicate openly without the fear of rejection.
While Missouri and Oklahoma both lack comprehensive laws regulating youth and social media, Kansas does have laws against cyberbullying and age verification for potentially harmful content. Arkansas recently passed a law aimed at providing privacy protections for those under 17. The new law takes effect on July 1st, 2026. Felicity Huffman joins Fox's hit medical drama Doc for season 2. We've got a preview up next. Fox's medical drama Doc returns with season 2 tomorrow night. We have a preview of the premiere, plus we spoke with new cast member Felicity Huffman about joining the show and the added parts of the job when working on a medical series. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Fox's hit medical drama Doc is back, with Felicity Huffman joining the cast.
Look who's back.
Huffman plays Dr. Joan Ridley, who was Dr. Amy Larson's med school teacher.
To my character, Dr. Amy Larson is like her David Beckham. It's her star. She sees an amazing talent and an amazing doctor. And they have a past that is friendly. She comes in and becomes the head of the chief of internal medicine at the hospital.
She didn't have to learn many medical terms for her role.
I think Molly Parker has the lion's share of that. And you just repeat it like any other line and then Google it a million times.
Yeah, I feel like there's two ways of doing it. It's either you retain it, so now you know these facts, or it's you memorize it like dialogue, and then when you're done, you forget it. And if somebody had asked you, what is this? Like, do you remember it?
Supposedly Noah Wiley did ER for so long and now he's on the pit and he just won, but he's basically a doctor. He's one of those guys that retains it all. That's going to be his next career.
It does give her a perspective on those who do this in real life.
Oh my God. The admiration I have for them is unbelievable. I mean, just the fact that we did a operation the other day and they stand in on operating rooms for 8 hours and are laser focused, much less everything else that they go through and the care, and it's so selfless.
The show returns with plenty of drama to kick off its second season.
It kicks off with drama and danger, and it's exciting, it's thrilling.
You're the legendary Dr. Amy Larson.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of leopard cubs exploring their enclosure at the Nashville Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.